All right, peeps, it's Danny here with another investing video. See the rate of return fell quite a lot, 20%. That's after the 2-day wild market sell-off. I did get a nasty liquidity message today that prompted, quite a lot of issues, but I did navigate. Got it down to positive $53.35. I put in about $4,100. And then I had a bit of a fire sale. I sold Income Realty. The one good thing is that a lot of this I sold at 10% loss. Income Realty was about, just because I had an option that I lost a little bit of money on the option. Income Realty, I realized I lost 1 or 2%. Probably actually gained on that trade overall, but I mean that part, the last part of it was a little bit ugly because it was kind of forced. So sold Income Realty. Obviously, the stock I sold at a bit of a profit. Had to take a bit of a loss in the option, so it's just down 1 or 2% on that. Got a little bit ugly with NYL. I sold a lot of my NYL position. Took a bit of a loss there, but I mean, still that's very profitable. I mean, the big thing that I'd probably booked about 3,500, maybe a little bit more in losses, probably about 3,800 in losses. But the big thing that kind of why it doesn't look so ugly, I don't know if any of the slides show my actual realized for the day. I think it does. Yeah, the realized was only negative 1,690. The big thing is I re-optioned Zim. So the one big thing about the market slide is that I had a big option on Zim 2 years out. It was about $6,000 in basis, and I managed to buy that back for a little bit under 4,000. So I think I made about $2,200 rebuying back that option. Now, obviously, that's a real nice profit of $2,200, especially for not holding that very long. But obviously the stock's down a lot, so when we're re-optioning, it's a lot less. What I did was I went a short option, 19 call, just to protect my, in case we do get some news that goes crazy up. Although if it went 19 call and actually got called, I would be fantastic. I mean, not exactly. I do want to hold it, but I mean, if I got called, I would, and it went, 19, and then, I'm assuming it would plot back down eventually. I would just rebuy at a lot lower level, and take the wash even. I mean, I don't think it would be a lot of a wash because 19, my basis is 19 hot, 19 mid, I guess, something like that, 19.62. So 19, that's not much of a wash anyway. That would be quite a lot. I mean, obviously, my unrealized, for 22%, my unrealized is pretty crazy wild. It's negative 22.8, 22,800. Now, most of that is just Zim. Zim is sitting at $19,000 unrealized. Now, obviously, next cycle, we'll have to look to deal with that, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just keep holding it, but eventually, I would want to, try to sell out or sell most of it out on a good upcycle. So, I mean, we're sitting where we're sitting, Obviously, I think Zim is pretty low. I mean, it's got some pretty phenomenal amounts of cash in there, and probably maybe still more dividend coming this year. Maybe not a whole lot, but I mean, the NYL is a very strong position. I still got 17,000 of that. Got 1,600 in dividends coming in. Receivable. It's going to take a while, but they're there. I'm not having any margin. I just slowly rebuild. I got the PSEC as my next big position, $3,000. PSEC, obviously, that's not a great one, but it's what we got. Morgan Stanley Direct Lending, that's a really good one, 1,800-ish, 1,900-ish. And then, the Tap Alpha, I liquidated quite a lot of that just to fortunate, but it is what it is. But overall, for having to go through a major margin call, I came out pretty honky dory. I mean, sort of. I mean, only took a realized loss of 1,700. And I've been taking lots of lots of realized profits. Now, obviously, the big one is the big eyesore is Zim in their $19,000 unrealized. But when we get the next cycle and Zim's pumping out $4 or $5 quarterly dividends, it'll get up there, and then it'll just be a thing of placement. Do I want to hold and just take those dividends and use it to rebuild the whole portfolio, or do I want to look for a spot to just sell out on Zim, and a profit? I mean, you think about that. I'm still at a pretty heavy profit of 20% with that unrealized loss, quote unquote. Is not because I'm never going to realize it. I'm going to hold until I get that profit, the unrealized of 19,000 in Zim. So if I just if I can just take a spot at some point and sell that one out, that's a huge thing. So, but in any case, I think I'm still in a good spot now. Obviously the playing around with the options is going to be a little bit, more limited. And while I was kind of tapped for a really long time, well, maybe not. I mean, maybe if it keeps falling, I can maybe buy those options back. Although, I'm just committed. I'm gonna stay off of margin. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the dividends I get. I mean, one thought is, depending how things are going, maybe just be really conservative, just buy some super short-term yield bonds, just protect the capital and get a small little income from that. Another thing is, maybe look for good dividend stocks that could be good long term. And buy at a big discount. It just depends where things are going, how fast things go. I mean, how ugly it gets. But I mean, obviously at this point, I can just wait. There's nothing going to force me to sell. I don't have any debt in any other part of my life other than the margin, which I no longer have any debt. So as of today, I'm debt free. Hallelujah. Well, I mean, it was not how I wanted it to go, and I guess I should have maybe liquidated yesterday, in hindsight. But I mean, it turned out okay actually. I'm not sure that a liquidation yesterday would have been better than today, just because I got such a huge profit off of the Zim option. Now that Zim option though is going to be a little bit weird to play with because if now I went from 6,000 in margin, on a like it was like a 680 day out to I don't know what it was, I guess I guess I got $500, a little over $500. And I guess maybe I didn't get a good price. I mean, I think it bounced back a little bit, unfortunately. But I mean, I got really good on the sell. Um, the I think the one I sold actually bounced back too, so I got a better price on the one that was more important. But obviously, when that runs to June, I think if I could get maybe and this one expires. If Zim is back up, I may be able to even sell sell it back at because I don't even think my 6,000 was really at that good of a price. It was around 2.38. A lot of the ones recently were selling around 2.6, 2.7, which would probably put me more closer to $7,000. Now, a lot of that was kind of when I bought, I was buying the stock at a good price and then just selling the option at what I could. Maybe not enough patience there, but and that's part of the thing too. Is also I went short-ish, enough to get something. I got $500, but also enough that comes then, you know, and just see what I can get. You know, because if it bumps back, even rebounds, say, to like $15, I bet you I can, you know, get at least $5,000, $6,000 off of those 2 years options. So you know, it just depends where we're sitting and how it looks. I mean, and maybe I'll just play it like, you know, a couple week options just for a few pennies here and there. If not pennies, but you know, pennies on the option, which kind of adds to quite a lot. You know, even you think about, you know, you're selling options at, you know, 6 or 7 cents. That's, you know, that was because you're selling in 100 batches. So that's, you know, even at 6 or 7 cents, that's, $5 to $6 profit per option, and you're selling 26 of that. You know, even in a couple weeks, you know, that can add up to be some decent change. Now, obviously, we'd love to have a good one, and then, you know, lock in that, you know, get it in there, and then just, you know, maybe just buy something super safe off of it, like also short bonds. Um, even just brokered CD. I don't know. Even do that? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Just see where we go, though. I mean, the other thing too is maybe just be aggressive. You know, you may find some bargain hunting. I mean, NYL. You know, if it's yielding like 15%, you know, it's like, hey, why not? You know, maybe. I don't know. Well, let's see where it goes. I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I'm not going to reestablish margins. So there's not going to be a lot of playing around with this. But I mean, survived the major crash, was still running 20% up on this account. A little bit over a year I've had it. So on the year's 14.51, I guess. So probably had it like a year and 3 months. So I guess the first 3 months were pretty good. But it's to me, I guess, you know, yeah, I mean, it's still going good. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of weirdness, when you're, you know, over half of your account is kind of a cyclical, it's out of cycle, but it's not really totally out of cycle though, because you know, uh, you know, maybe first quarter is a $1 dividend. I don't know. I mean, that's just a guess, but maybe it happens. Maybe we get a $1 dividend out of the first quarter, and then I'll be looking to get something out of the options if I can get a little bit of a bounce, especially with that dividend in that quarter, and I can sell $5,000-6,000 of options off it. I think we'll be pretty rocking this year. But we'll see. I mean, it could just be a long, hard year on this one. But patience in all things, because I mean, fundamentally, got no debt. I think the position is super good. Them is a super valuable company. It's just it'll take time to realize that. So yeah, holding strong and survived. So, and obviously, probably a lot to learn off of margin and not doing margin in this way. And I got some good bump for a while, and then just kind of really fell apart. But obviously, lessons to be learned. Probably don't know what they are exactly yet, but I'm sure I'll be thinking about it quite a lot. And hey, at least I survived, lived to fight another day, and actually doing still pretty strong. I think it'll be fine, and it'll be good, and gave a little bit back, but hey, it happens. All right, till next time, peeps.